So a full count with 1 out. Righty on righty matchup. Here's the delivery. Hit high out to center field. Going back on it is Matheson at the wall. It's gone. A 1-out home run opens this game up by Joey Urban. He sent that one straight out to the trees in center field, and it's a 1-0 ball game. Butler has the lead. Moore McNeil should be the one to take it over the court. Indiana moving quickly, under 7 minutes to play in the first quarter. They're ahead by 6. Moore McNeil slots a pass around. Here's Scalia to Parrish, right wing 3. It's good! 64th minute of this match. And it's 1-0 in favor of the Hoosiers. Here comes Sarver. He gets around his defender, tries to pass to the center. Mahalik shot, score! Tommy Mahalik makes it 2 on the day. And he's already got 3 this year. Tommy Mahalik on an excellent feed from Sam Sarver. We've got a 2-0 ball game. All right, let's set the scene, Nick. 5-5. Going into the 9th, it's Butler versus Indiana. Butler trying to split the series. Indiana trying to take the series at home. Andrew Hillsman here with Nick Rodecap to bring you the last inning of action. A couple of defensive substitutions. In to catch is Brock Tibbetts, and Brincheski will take Tibbetts' spot at first. There's a first pitch ball to the leadoff batter, Carter Doherty. And Nick, an interesting bottom half of the 8th. Here's the 1-0 from Reisdorf. Inside for ball 2.
That was not a bad pitch by Reisdorf. It was just on the inside black. Doherty lifted his arms, though. He sold it.
.2-0 from Reisdorf. Outside half of the plate. Dragged back in for a strike by Tibbetts.
That was 2 balls off the plate and called a strike. That was actually farther out of the zone than the pitch before it.
Well, nevertheless, here's the 2-1. Reisdorf from the windup. Fouled off to the left side, but well hit. And will go foul on top of the hitting complex here in left field. So it evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Doherty 0 for 2 on the day. He's walked twice, he scored a run, grounded out to shortstop, and struck out swinging. Here's the 2-2, wind up in the delivery. Outside ball 3, this count runs full. Full count for Doherty. Reisdorf stands with his glove at his hips. Wind up, payoff, fouled off. We'll do it again. And where do you go if you're Reisdorf here? I
think you got to go back to the slider. Reisdorf's slider has been his put-away pitch lately, and the fastball is good, but he's not sneaking it by Doherty. His hands are too quick. And I think if you start this slider, you can either go to the back foot or you can backdoor it.
Here's the second full count offering from Reisdorf. Ball 4 outside, and that's a lead-off walk for Carter Doherty.
Yeah, he tried to go to the back door with the slider, but it just popped out of his hand a little too early. And when it starts that far outside, the hitter knows it's not coming back. Really good leadoff at-bat by Doherty, whose on-base percentage is almost 500 on the season. Now you've got Joey Urban, who's a perfect 4 for 4 with 3 singles and a homer today. This is the right guy for the job if you're Butler.
Righty on righty matchup. You've got Reisdorf for Indiana on the bump, and a perfect hitter in Urban in the batter's box. Here's the first pitch. He's going to show bunt. He lays it down. Reisdorf comes out to pick it up. There's going to be a sacrifice bunt. They'll move Doherty over to second base in scoring position. A good team play by Joey Urban.
Bunting is a lost art.
It is.
And Joey Urban showed the power that bunting has. I mean, that was a perfectly executed sacrifice. Catches the ball with the bat, 45-degree angle, keeps it quiet. Now you've got an RBI chance for Jack Maroknik. And Indiana's going to intentionally walk him. This is smart by Mercer because it sets up the double play, and it also gives you a much colder bat. Maroknik has reached base 3 times, 2 singles. Wirtz just, on the day, 1 for 4. He did have an RBI single back in the 5th, but he's been relatively quiet. He's a worse hitter by pretty much every conceivable metric compared to Jack Maroknik. So you've got a chance now to set up the double play and get your team back in the dugout.
Well, Wirtz had only 1 home run and 6 RBIs in 35 games last year. Looking to play the hero here. 1 out. Here's Reisdorf. This one's chopped above Reisdorf's head. Could be two. They'll tag out at second base. And Oliver will make that play. So it's now runners on the corners with 2 away.
That's a good job there by Oliver just to get an out. His momentum, that was a soft chopper. It's going to be tough to turn 2. So he keeps his momentum going forward, tags out the runner directly in front of him, almost runs into the umpire in the process. But you set up a couple force plays here with runners on the corners and 2 away for Cade Lewis. And you've got a chance still to get out of the inning. You can get a ground ball at the middle, ground ball to a corner infielder, weak pop-up, either way.
Cade Lewis, a dangerous hitter. He had a double.
We'll have a pinch runner at first base as David Ayers comes out in place of Billy Wirch.
Ayers hails from Cathedral High School in Indianapolis. He's a freshman. Has some speed. Came in at the end of last game to play center field.
Yeah, and Ayers, and he's a good athlete as well. He played football at Cathedral, was part of a couple teams that made deep postseason runs, including the 2021 state championship team. He was a wide receiver on that squad. He does have good speed. And Butler's doing this, one, because Ayers represents a crucial insurance run, but also you don't want to give Indiana the fielder's choice. Right. Now, remember, earlier in this game, Butler stole a run. And the way they did it was on a first and third play. They sent the runner from first base. He got a walking lead. Ethan Phillips stepped off, threw in front of him at second. That allowed the runner from third to come in and score as he beat the return throw from second base all the way down the infield to the plate. Want to maybe see, I doubt with 2 outs they'll try it here, but keep that in the back of your mind.
So it's Cade Lewis, the freshman, first baseman, 1 for 4 on the day, has a 2 RBI double that came in the 7th inning. Fresh count from Reisdorf, 2 outs, runners at the corners. Reisdorf delivers. This one's hit high, deep, right field. It is gone! A 3-run bomb for Cade Lewis gives Butler a 3-run lead. It's 8-5 in the top of the 9th. The freshman plays the hero and puts his team up by 3 runs in the top of the 9th. Wow, what a swing and what a drive. Nick, you're speechless.
I've only seen one player hit a ball that far onto the hill, and it's Devin Taylor.
Wow.
The difference is you expect Taylor to do that, but Lewis, that's his 2nd homer in this doubleheader. And that ball was crushed.
Connors is going to fly out to center on the first pitch, so Indiana needs to come up with 3 runs in 3 outs to work with after Reisdorf gave up a 3-run shot with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Indiana needs to mount a comeback. This game has flipped on its head after the 3-run shot from Cade Lewis in the top of the 9th. It's an 8-5 ball game. The Bulldogs have the lead going into the bottom of the 9th. We'll be right back. You won't want to miss this one on WIUX. Michigan State out rebounding the Hoosiers 10-4. Right now, that's been the reason why they're up by 8. Far side inbound gets it into Scalia. Moore McNeil thinks about a 3 and clears out the top of the key. Almost receives a screen from Holmes. Now it's Spargesser to the top. Near side to far side drive. Scalia goes to Bargesser in the corner. Helms down low, gets doubled, stops up for a shot, gets her on rebound. 14 seconds on the clock. Bargesser recollects. Gives to Scalia. Now Moore McNeil with 14 on the shot clock. Long pass. Bargesser thinks about a 3, steps in for a mid-range jumper from the right side, and it's good.
She had that open 3-pointer, but took a step in, got the more comfortable jumper, puts it down for 2.
35-29, and Bargesser has 8 points. Scalia still leading the team with 9. Theron Halleck hands off. Now a long shot by Kimball, and she can't get that one to fall. Moore McNeil gets the easy rebound. Kicking on out. LaMendola trying to find a pass, and she finds Moore McNeil at the top. Handoff almost poked away by Kimball, but it gets to Scalia nonetheless. Moore McNeil holding the basketball overhead, looking for Holmes. She finds Bargesser inside, into the restricted area, fakes a jump, and now she goes up. 10 points for Lexus Bargesser. And she's well on her way to tying her career high of 15. Indiana crowd on their feet. 4-point game. Michigan State ahead by 31-35. Bargesser almost gets a steal. And this one down to the ground, trying to repossess control of it, is Joyner, and she does for Michigan State. 12 on the shot clock, driving on Bargesser inside, stops back up. Halleck thinks about a three. She's guarded tightly by Moore. McNeil goes to the line and a charge. Offensive foul, and that'll get Indiana fans on their feet. With 5:50 left to play in this second quarter, Indiana takes possession of the basketball, only down by 4.
This crowd loving the tough defense from the Hoosiers. A great charge drawn right there to get the ball back. Chance to cut it to a one-possession game here. Down 35-31. Michigan State 35, Indiana 31. IU chants ringing throughout the hall.
Mackenzie Holmes will check out in place of Lily Meister. And it's Moore McNeil who starts things off. She's got 5 assists already in this game without registering a point. Indiana trailing by 4. Scalia, the right wing. 5.5 to play in this second quarter. Gives to Meister at the top. Meister gives Bargesser. Not in her range right now. Moore McNeil thinks about a pull-up jumper. Now moves to the left block. Jump stop. Kicks it back out. Scalia, long three. It's good.
You
Sarah
cannot.
Scalia, how about it? 12 points. And it's a loud environment here. Indiana only trailing by 1 point, 35-34. Bargesser guarding Michigan State player tightly. That's Hageman. She's trying to spin off. Excuse me, that's Joyner. Ball almost poked away. Out to Hageman, left wing three. She's got it. Answering three, Hageman knocks it down from the left wing. And Michigan State lead is back up to 4 points with 4:52 to play in this second quarter. Bargesser is going to start things off. And that one's poked away. Good read by Taryn Halleck, and she is in the lane for 2 points. Spartans ahead by 6 now. Bargesser will try to get a better possession this time around. Moore McNeil stops up, mid-range jumper, and it is smooth. Rims around and it drops. 2 points for Moore McNeil. Indiana now trailing by 4.
Both teams punching back and forth right now.
A total of 76 points scored in 15 minutes of action here. Indiana hitting on 4 of their last 4. Taryn Halleck, long cross-court pass. Gives now to Joyner, right wing three, rims in and out, and Meister will collect the board. Tate thought about it. She handed it back off to Joyner, and she didn't like the shot, so she didn't take it. 40-36, Michigan State lead, kicking on out. Scalia feeds inside to Lily Meister, the sophomore. Stops back up, trying to back down, and a travel called on Lily Meister. And that'll take us to the immediate timeout with 3:51 to play in the second quarter. 40-36 is the Michigan State Spartans lead. You're listening to Indiana women's basketball here on 99.1 WIUX.
What have they done to propel this team forward so far in the season?
I think it's hard to talk about transfers and impact players without mentioning Delaney Maple.
Yeah.
Played 4 years at USC on the beach, came over to the hard floor, and has been a plug-and-play individual for Steve Aird's squad. She's been unbelievable. I mean, she's made this switch from beach to hard court volleyball. It's a whole different game. Obviously, some of the skills are going to transfer over, but it's a completely different sport. She's picked it up quick, and she's been such a crucial part of Steve Aird's rotation thus far early in the season. Another person that I really want to highlight is the freshman middle blocker, Ella Boersma.
Yeah.
Again, plug-and-play player that you lost Colheed and you lost Ramelsburg over from last year. Now you've got Boersma who can step into that role as a freshman, which is really impressive to do and just to see. And she's been a force to be reckoned with.
She's dominated.
Front line.
Yeah.
She's been great.
Andrew, take us home.
For me, it's too early to say any definitive judgments about IU because they've played such tough competition in their non-conference schedule, which has been a trend that Steve Aird has kind of built in these last couple of years. Obviously took over the program. This is a rags to riches story that we're looking at. I mean, Steve Aird has been so good at recruiting and just coaching these players up and building a team that struggled to win double-digit games, now is winning double-digit conference games in the last couple of years. I think the first 2 games that they're playing at home, these 2 games this weekend, Michigan State and Ohio State, are going to be really telling. How do you play in front of a home crowd against conference opponents, and what momentum can you carry into those big games? You go to Nebraska, you play Purdue twice. Those are going to be huge games, and then down the stretch, Michigan and Illinois, I believe, are the 2 games that end the year for Indiana. It's going to tell a lot, and this team has a good potential. They've got a good standing in the RPI. Obviously, they're not ranked. but they could make the tournament and make some splashes.